Join me to welcome to this podium Professor Murtado Aderemi Bidmus. Kabirullah.
Allahu Akbar.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin. Wal aqibatu lil muttaqin. La ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. La ta'khusuhu sinatun wa la nawm. Lahu ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard. Man dhal ladhi yashfa'u 'indahu illa bi idnihi. Ya'lamu ma bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum. Wa la yuhituna bi shay'in min 'ilmihi illa bima sha'a. Wasi'a kursiyyuhu samawati wal arda. Wa la ya'uduhu hifdhuhuma wa huwa al-'aliyyul 'azim. My brothers in Islam and my sisters, the Amir of TNC, my brother Tajuddin Yusuf, our fathers in attendance, the chairman of the occasion, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All praise is due to Allah, and we beseech him to shower his blessings on our Prophet Muhammad, our leader. Let me quickly thank TNC. Let me quickly thank you and appreciate you for inviting me to come and participate in this event. It is a Dawah outfit, and whenever I am invited to participate in a Dawah event, I feel delighted because you are asking me to come and take reward, to come and take ajr.
Kabirullah.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, every step we take here today, may He accept it from us as an act of ibadah, for which we are going to take ajr inshallah. I want to thank you immensely for inviting me. Let me also thank you very much for the little efforts you are making to propagate Islam. May Allah give you wherewithal to forge ahead. Brothers and sisters, we are here today to discuss our true story. Islam in Nigeria and our true story. And when I came in, somebody asked me here when I was seated that, did you come with a prepared speech so that we can distribute? I said, no. I didn't come with a paper. I've come here to talk to you one-on-one. That does not require paper. Long speech. I'm going to make 2 statements. And those 2 statements, I want you to get them recorded upstairs, okay? So we don't need a long speech about it. What is our true story? When we are talking about Islam in Nigeria, we should not bother ourselves about the date. When did it come to Nigeria? What year? What century? That is not the issue. The issue is Islam in Nigeria. How is it faring? How is it practiced? How is it understood? That is our true story we want to examine. Islam in Nigeria, our true story today. Our true story, brothers and sisters in Islam, is in 2 parts. Our true story in 2 parts. Part 1 is that we are making frantic efforts to promote Islam. That is the true story. Part 1. Our efforts to promote Islam brought about TMC. TMC is a vibrant Muslim organization, active, determined, purposeful, progressive. That is TMC for you. Our effort to promote Islam in Nigeria brought about Ansaruddin, Nasfat, Qorib, Jamaat Nasrul Islam, Jamaat Ansarul Islam, Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs. That is our effort. our efforts to promote Islam has brought about 3 universities. Fountain University in Osogbo, Crescent in Abeokuta, and Hikmah in Ilorin. 3 universities. That's very beautiful, isn't it? And it's cheering. That is part 1 of our true story. Let me stop there. We move to part 2. The part 2 of our story is that all efforts we are making, we don't have much to show for it. All efforts we are making cannot yield desired results. Why? Because the efforts are not coordinated. The efforts are not organized. The efforts are not predicated on strategic plans. Everybody is just doing something. Yes, it's just like somebody running. Is sweating. And people ask him, where are you running to? You are running too much. He said, just leave me alone. Let me run. But we want to know where you are going. Please leave me alone. Let me run. We can't leave you alone. You have to tell us where you are running to. Later on, he said, don't you see those people running? Is that why you are running? Yes. But those people, where are they running to? I don't know. So the people he is trying to follow to run, he doesn't know where they are running to. Oh no, they best inside. Our effort is like that. It's not coordinated, it's not organized, it's not predicated on a strategic plan. Let me give you an illustration. And the way we behave, you cannot blame us for the way we behave. If we are not coordinated, we are not organized, you don't blame us. I'll give you an example. In Nigeria today, there is no national institute where we can train imams. If you can speak English very well, you are eloquent in English, that does not make you a lawyer until you are trained as a lawyer. You can speak English very well, you can argue, you can reason, but you still have to be trained as a lawyer. If you know mathematics very well, that does not make you an engineer until you are trained as an engineer. If you know Arabic, that does not make you an imam until you are trained as an imam. We don't have an institute in Nigeria where to train our imams. If you have 10 imams conducting naming ceremony, you are going to have 10 formats. Everybody has his own format. If you have 10 imams conducting wedding ceremony or janazah ceremony, you have 10 formats. Everybody has his own format. We are disorganized. Let me give you an illustration. When Christianity came to Nigeria, the white missionaries brought it to Nigeria. They settled in towns and villages. Wherever they settled, they will establish mission house, mission church, mission school, mission this, mission that. You discover that the pastor in the church, the white man who is the pastor in the church, training the adult, is the headmaster in the school. Therefore, they taught Nigerians the management of the church, how to practice Christianity. They teach Nigerians. They came more than 2 centuries ago. Till this morning I am talking to you, they have not gone back home. They are still in Nigeria. And when they came with Christianity, they are receiving support from home to maintain themselves and maintain their establishment. When Islam came in, how did they come in? Who brought it? Who followed it? From Egypt, from Libya, from Saudi Arabia? Nobody followed Islam. He just managed to come here on his own. From that time, we have been practicing Islam out of trial and error. Nobody taught us the way Christians were taught by the white missionaries who have not left Nigeria till this morning. There are 2 people two categories of people who follow Islam to Nigeria: the traders, the itinerant scholars. Who are the traders? The Lebanese, the Syrians, who are selling clothes and different things, and because they are Muslims, they are practicing their Islam. But they did not come for the purpose of propagation of Islam. They came as traders. So they practice Islam, they build mosques, and anybody who is attracted, join them. So their major mission in Nigeria is not propagation of Islam. The second group of people, itinerant Malam. Those itinerant Malams, they are scholars who will come to this village, stay for a year or two, they go to another village 3 or 4 years. So we call them itinerant, moving around. So these two categories of people, they did not settle down to teach us mosque management, the way our counterparts were taught church management. So everything we have been doing is trial and error. We can do it. And the few people who went to Cairo or Saudi Arabia to study Islam, study Arabic, when they came back home, were they allowed to influence the way things are done? No. Arabic, they are not allowed to influence anything. This zigzag must continue. We are very good at one thing, we Muslims. We are very good at criticizing what is going on in the country. Corruption, lack of water, lack of light, lack of employment, insurgency, insecurity, unemployment. Let me ask you a question. All the ills, the social ills in Nigeria, are they committed only by non-Muslims? The political thuggery, the political confusion, economic mess, corruption in high places, are they committed by only? Excuse me. Islam is nur, light. Corruption is darkness. Darkness and light cannot live together. Where you have darkness, it means there is no light. Where you have light, darkness will disappear. So if we have darkness in Nigeria today, it means that we Muslims, we have not behaved as what? As a light. Therefore, we can't blame anybody for it. If we have failed to behave as a light, so that darkness will disappear, don't blame anybody. Whom do we blame? Blame ourselves. That Islam is beautiful, but to what extent have we been able to demonstrate, to show the beauty of Islam? Now we have 3 universities. Go and visit them. The 3 of them put together -1. Why? Because there's no coordination. Why should we have 3 universities? Why don't we have only one Muslim university? We are Nasfat, we have a faculty. Ansarudin, a faculty. Korib, a faculty. Jamaat Kini, somebody will take care of the mosque and the multipurpose. Somebody will take care of landscape. Somebody will take care of students, hostel, staff. So if we are coordinated, we have one university that will be one of the best in the world. Instead of we have small, go to Osogbo, go and look at our university, and I will ask how many of you would like to send his children to that place? And it's a university. Because it is a university because we are not coordinated. Anytime we want to do anything, there is no plan. That is our true story. If Nigeria has this moral decay, I want to believe that those who commit all the crimes in Nigeria, all of them are not non-Muslims. What are we doing as Muslims to beam our light so that our light will send darkness away? Ladies and gentlemen, that is our true story. We are making efforts. We are doing dawah. but our dawah cannot produce the desired fruits. Why? Because we are not coordinated, we are not organized, our effort is not predicated on pre-plans. What do we do now, from now on? What do we do is very simple. TMC, the Muslim Congress, can take the challenge to do two things. Number one, TMC can reach out to other organizations that we cannot be operating as individuals. No individual organization can solve our problem in Nigeria. We can only solve the problem if we are united. TMC can do that. Call other Muslims that we want to know what you are doing, what we are doing. Let us work together. Network. The second thing TMC can do is that when you want to do dawah, why do you rely on donation? Donation from Baba Adini, donation from our patron, 50,000 naira, 100,000. What are you going to do with 100,000 naira? What are you going to do with 100 million naira in Nigeria when you want to do dawah? So if we want to do dawah, the first thing we have to do is to have fund generating effort. We must have something that will be giving us not millions of naira but billions of naira. If we have that venture that will yield for us billions of naira, then we start dawah. We cannot do any reasonable dawah with donation. Donation, 10,000, 50,000. What are you going to do with 50? What are you going to do with 50 million? There is an organization in Nigeria, Muslim organization. They produce soft drink. They call it malt. That soft drink, they do it to give them income. And I ask a question. I am a malam I'm not in commerce. But I know that if a unit of malt will give you a profit of 20 naira, but a unit of sachet water will give you 5 naira. If you look at the number of people who are going to drink malt and the number of people who are going to use water, in a year, what you are going to realize from water, which is only 5 naira, will be more than what you are going to generate from malt. From a unit of malt, you gain 20 naira. 20 naira. Hypothetically. But from a unit of sachet water, how much are you going to gain? How much? 5 naira. Therefore, it doesn't make commercial sense. It does not make a commercial sense that we take malt as an income generating venture. Why don't we go into pencil, exercise book, water? That is what people use every day. The gain that will come from that will be more than the profit that will come from malt. Brothers and sisters in Islam, that is my submission to you. I don't need a prepared paper for it. My submission, therefore, is that our coming here today shows we are making effort. That is our true story. But our true story is that all efforts we are making have not yielded decided result. What is the desired result? Let darkness go away. Corruption is darkness. Lack of water. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. There is a rehabilitation. It started 2 years ago. They started at Shagamu end. If you go there now, you still find the contractors at Shagamu. 2 years after, Ojukono. That is a classical example of corruption. Who are the people involved in it? The people involved in that mess are they all non-Muslims? They are not from something wrong. They are